So when we think about segregation, we think about the South, right? It's just automatic. We think about the South. I have a surprise for you. Yeah. Some basics. We all know the doctrine of separate but equal, right? It was codified in 1896 with the case of Plessy versus Ferguson. Who is it? Ferguson gets on the whites only car on a train and they drag him off and he takes them to court and it makes it all the way to the Supreme Court. And the court said that segregation was constitutional as long as everything was equal. We all know it wasn't equal. No. But it ushered in over 80 years of Jim Crow. It ushered in over 80 years of segregation. Whites only this and colored only that. Yeah. Well, things started to fall apart somewhere around 1954. Yeah. With the Supreme Court decision in Brown versus the Board of Education. Yeah. High level, they said that separate but equal was a joke. Because it was inherently unequal, like everybody had been telling them for over 80 years. And then they said, hey, we're going to need you to desegregate the schools, please and thank you. But the South said, ooh, hold on, not so fast. We're going to fight you on it. And 19 U.S. senators and 82 representatives from the southern states, they just so happen to be all the former Confederate states, they all signed the Southern Manifesto. Yeah. It was a document written in opposition to integration. Yeah. They told the Supreme Court that they had overstepped their boundaries. And I quote, the court had undertook to exercise their naked judicial power and substituted their personal political and social ideas for the established law of the land. And that's what they said in it. Then, this part's good. They said that, I don't know why you're persecuting us. Segregation didn't even start in the South. Y'all need to look to the North for that. Separate but equal came from the North. And 19 senators and 82 representatives, they were right. Yeah. Segregation didn't start in the South. Separate but equal didn't start in the South. Yeah, the Southern congressmen cited a case. They cited Roberts versus the city of Boston. It was a case, an 1850 court case, seeking to end segregation in Boston public schools. You see, the public schools in Salem, Nantucket, and Boston were racially segregated into the 1840s and 1850s. Yeah. This is prior to the end of the Civil War and prior to Plessy versus Ferguson. In fact, in the Plessy versus Ferguson case, the Supreme Court sided Roberts versus City of Boston in establishing the separate but equal doctrine. So we've been blaming the South for coming up with segregation, and yeah, that would be the North. The South just perfected it. Yeah. Fun fact. The Roberts versus City of Boston. Now, the original ruling was that there was no constitutional basis for the suit. The case was appealed to the Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court. Chief Justice Shaw ruled that Boston's public schools had the right to classify and separate students according to race. Yeah. 1855, the Massachusetts legislature would pass a law ending segregation in public schools, and this would be the first law prohibiting segregated schools in the United States.